Backlash is this weekend, and my excitement levels are extremely low. This could be because I was disappointed with WrestleMania overall, but honestly, this particular event, I had low expectations once it was announced that it was in St. Louis because for some reason I thought this was going to take place in Mexico. I don't know if that was just a viral tweet or something, but I assumed it had validity to it, and you know how these state crowds be for PLEs. It don't be hidden on nothing. That and the fact that the build for this don't excite me much. I understand this is very close to WrestleMania, so there's not a lot of long-term stories for people to build off of. And like back in the day, it was mostly rematches, but still, you could have some bangers with good rematches, especially if a title changes hands. It's the feud still got meat on the bone. For this one, it's just, just overall. And it's one of those classic Triple H 5-match format type cards. I give them a little pass this time only because Saturday night's main event is like 2 weeks after this. So I'm going to start from the bottom of the card, then I'm going to work my way up. It's Dominic Mysterio versus Penta for the IC title. I assume the match itself, in ring wise, will be very entertaining, but I feel like I've seen these two in all the Judgment Day shenanigans on Raw so frequently that I'm just associating this match with a Raw match, like a Raw main event or something. Not even a main event, honestly. All Judgment Day will be involved in some manner. Since AJ Styles had an interaction with Judgment Day, maybe once Judgment Day starts playing the numbers game, then AJ will come out and help, and that will build up the tension between AJ, Finn, and Dom. I still don't think that's going to be enough. I think we're going to get some cool-ass spots with Mexican Destroyers, Superior Karana, 619. It's going to be dope in that aspect. But I still have Dom retaining. Just hella shenanigans, though. But it shouldn't end in the DQ. I think they could just end this without having to stretch it to the point where it needs to be another rematch. Like, you have to get a number one contenders match for it to make sense of Penta getting another shot, which I don't see happening. So, Dom retained in that one. The next match I'm going to talk about is that Fatal 4-Way, which should be super fire to watch. That, in-ring wise, I believe I'm going to be the most entertained with this match. And ultimately, I will have Solo interfering in some manner. I don't know if it's going to fuck over Jacob, but hopefully not. I think he'll just be ringside. Maybe somebody from the match will attack him by accident, maybe LA Knight or Damien. But I still have Jacob retaining, honestly. Maybe they create the spot in a way where Solo almost costs Jacob, which can add to the tension of Solo and Jacob, but Jacob still retains. But I'm trying to picture who would be the good candidate to take the pin in this aspect. Since LA Knight and Jacob already fought, I think he could afford the pin. Especially with Damian and Drew having that friction left over from WrestleMania, which I don't even think they should have friction. But if you just want to burn through this LA Knight and Jacob feud and end up having somebody get drafted to separate the people, I think that LA Knight can afford the pin, honestly. Damian already took a pin at WrestleMania as well. I don't see much tension between Damian and Jacob, and Drew cannot afford a pin in any shape or manner. Those only two I'm just positive will not lose. It will be Drew or Jacob. Well, actually, I mean will not lose. I just mean will not get pinned. I know those two better not get pinned on my watch. So Damian or LA Knight, I don't really give a fuck. I don't really have much emotional investment in what they have going on. I really want a lot of these niggas to be in the main event scene, especially LA Knight and Drew. Like, get the fuck out of here. This is just, they don't have nothing for these niggas to do, realistically. So we just doing side missions. And I'm predicting the interference from Solo, because what long-term stories does Jacob really have besides that one? We looking at that, we thought that was going to be the Mania match. So I'm just trying to get this shit going. Now that GM was all this already acknowledged that Solo be on some whole shit, let's accelerate that up. We've been doing this shit for months. He was already talking greasy about this nigga when he won the title. Pick that shit up. We don't need to wait months and months and months for that turn. Both the Tama brothers is injured. No time like the present. So have Jacob retain this title. Next match, I'm actually excited about this one now. Becky versus Lyra. Lyra impressed the hell out of me with her promo with Becky. I think she got the edge in that back and forth, to tell you the truth. And that shocked me because I thought she was going to sound dorky or nervous, and she didn't. She actually sounded more convincing to me than Becky. Becky was yelling a lot, but some of the stuff she was saying, it did not move me. It wasn't as crisp as her promo directly after the heel turn. This one was still cool though. The back and forth was dope, and the way that she done attacked Becky back-to-back weeks, so showing her ferocious side, like, I'm not sugar with you, I'm not trying to be you no more, this is my shit. I love all that energy. And in ring-wise, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super big on Becky's matches for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just the speed of it. Obviously, she's not like a power wrestler, she's much smaller, but I don't know. It's just something about some, like, obviously the manhandle slam. That move particularly doesn't really do it for me, and it just relies on a lot of chemistry with her matches. But still, I do think this one would be a very good match. This probably would be second to me as far as dope matches, because I think that Fatal 4-Way would be the dopest match. I really want Lyra to retain here, but honestly, Becky grabbing that title as a heel character, she could add a lot of legitimacy, and Lyra could still get it off of her later. We already seen Lyra take the NXT title from Becky, and I think a way that they can do it where Becky wins and then Lyra get it back would be Becky just wins in a cheap manner, and then later on in a rematch, Bayley gets involved and Lyra gets it back. Or you can have Bayley interfere with this match and it ends in like a no contest, or she just helps Lyra win. The only reason why I'm not going that route is because I've already predicted interferences with Solo in the Fatal 4-Way and Judgment Day in that IC title match. I will get a bit burnt out from the interference finishes if we do that shit 3 straight times. So that's the only reason why I'm picking Becky to win this match. And you don't just burn, like, you can kick Bayley off of WrestleMania, you can do this fucking heel turn. If you do all that shit and Becky doesn't even win the IC belt, what the fuck was the point of that? So just give Becky the title and let Lyra win it back. You might get more sympathy for Lyra character-wise if she loses in a she way. Just don't have Lyra lose clean, and you would get more support for Lyra. Next match, I was hella mad when this shit got announced. Gunther versus Pat McAfee. Utter nonsense at first, but slowly I have warmed up to this match. I have been swayed by Pat McAfee's promos the last 2 weeks. That nigga could talk his ass off, and he really loves this shit. I've seen a couple clips from his previous match. I think it was Mania 38 with Austin Theory. I don't recall it. Maybe I'll have to watch it in its entirety. But from the couple clips I've seen, he could do a little something if you just have Gunther guide the whole match. Maybe reminiscent of the Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny match, although that was a street fight with hella shenanigans. I still think you can do a bunch of creative spots and have Gunther really doing majority of the work, like 80-90% of it, obviously leading the match. But you could draw this match out where Pat will still look fresh and he can do a couple things that will make the crowd ooh and ah. Gunther cannot lose this match still to me. I just think you can have Pat go out on his sword in a respectable way. But after Gunther then tapped out like that to Jey Uso, I will not rest that night if he loses to Pat McAfee. I'll not rock it. I would have rather him go on vacation if that's the route that we finna go. I'm saying this out of just emotion. I'm picking Gunther. I don't know what the plan would be for him if he loses at this match. We already ran an angle of him being insecure about himself during that Damian Priest feud when he had the title. I don't want to run that shit back, because if he drops a match to Pat McAfee after dropping a match to Jey Uso, how are we going to sell this nigga character, bro? How are we going to get back some momentum? I'm not rocking. Please let Gunther win. But I do have a prediction. I didn't really like the Jey Uso versus Gunther match like a lot of people. I would not be surprised if this match is surprisingly better than that one. I know for sure, though, this match is going to be better than John Cena and Cody Rhodes. I'm never rewatching that match. That shit was slow as hell. This one, I ain't saying it's going to be no 5-star classic, but I do think I'm going to be surprised. I was mad as hell that day this shit got announced, but I'm a little bit more hopeful. Now, the main event, this is the match where I'm fully off board with the in-ring wise. But for nostalgia purposes, John Cena versus Randy Orton, I'm hella amped for it there. Promos back and forth, the angles that they've taken in their arguments, when they do all the flashbacks of their previous matches before it, it's going to be a dope-ass crowd. I'm hoping that niggas will bring back that sign where it says, if Cena wins, we riot. A lot of theories on what Cena can do to really get some heat, steal some of Randy's moves, like the punt that Randy did to Cena's dad. Maybe if Randy's dad's in attendance, he can do that. I see another theory of that match where Randy slapped the ref to retain, that Cena should do that. I honestly don't think he's going to do either one of those things, but I really hope he would. I just have very low expectations for this match. I do have Cena winning, but the pace in which both these wrestlers have matches, especially lately, is pretty slow. And I just don't like super slow matches. I get it, in-ring psychology. They're selling, they're telling a story. I get you. I still need a good balance between work rate and storytelling, selling, in-ring psychology, that shit. Because honestly, I've not been a big fan of a lot of Randy's matches since coming back either. Obviously, I like his matches way more than John's last match because he's just physically able to do more. He's not as slow and he's much stronger at this point in his career. John is just not. And you put these two together, I know this match going to be slow as fuck. I'm not excited in any way. John Cena's going to win on some bullshit. I just can't picture what it is. I don't think it's going to be Travis Scott. And I don't think it's going to be the belt hit that he's been doing, because that will get kind of repetitive. It might be a low blow again, though, now that I'm thinking about it, because it's not like he uses weapons frequently, and he doesn't have another ally at this point that will enter the ring and fuck over Randy. And I can't think of any third party that would have any involvement with this match. But so I'm gonna say John, maybe a steel chair. I just don't know exactly what it would be, but it will definitely be in a cheap way. I hope they give me some type of plot twist to make this shit give this shit some extra juice. A punt kick from one of these people, RKO on the announce table, an attitude adjustment on the announce table. Give me something brutal. Since this is the last time, we need y'all to play the hits with this one, bro. Redo some classic spots that y'all have done over the years. Just pick whichever one. But John's gonna be victorious, and he's gonna be on Saturday Night's Main Event in about 2 weeks. So that's a quick turnaround. Maybe the way this actually, I was gonna say maybe they'll have a rematch after, but no, the promo poster says one last time. So yeah, John definitely is gonna win, and it's going to be a pinfall.